He promised forever, but he meant the opposite. I remember the day we met like it was etched into my skin, a tattoo I couldn't wash off no matter how hard I scrubbed. It was one of those crisp autumn afternoons in Chicago, where the wind off Lake Michigan bites at your cheeks and makes you pull your coat tighter. I was 28, fresh out of a dead-end job at a marketing firm, trying to figure out what adulting really meant. He was 30, confident, with that easy smile that could light up a room, or so I thought. His name was Alex. We bumped into each other at a coffee shop on Michigan Avenue. Literally bumped. I was juggling my latte and a stack of resumes, and he was on his phone, probably scrolling through some app. Coffee splashed everywhere, mostly on him. I apologized profusely, my face turning the color of a tomato. He laughed it off, said it was the best thing that happened to him all day. Fate's way of saying we should talk, he quipped, wiping his shirt with a napkin. We did talk. 4 hours. He was a software engineer, the kind who worked for startups and dreamed big. He told me about his travels, backpacking through Europe after college, the time he got lost in Paris and ended up at a street artist's studio. I shared my own stories, lighter ones about growing up in a small town in Wisconsin, escaping to the city for something more. By the end of that conversation, he had my number, and I had butterflies I hadn't felt since high school. Our first date was magical. He took me to a rooftop bar overlooking the skyline, where the lights twinkled like stars we could almost touch. We talked about everything. Dreams, fears, favorite books. He loved Hemingway. I preferred Austen. Opposites attract, he said, clinking his glass against mine. That night, as we walked along the river, he held my hand and promised, "This feels right. I won't let go." Promises. They started small, like pebbles tossed into a pond rippling out. But soon they built up. A month in, he promised we'd travel together, maybe to that Paris he loved so much. 2 months, he promised he was over his ex, that she was ancient history. 3 months, and we were saying, "I love you," under the covers of his apartment, promising forever in whispers. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? Alex was everything I thought I wanted. Charming, ambitious, attentive. He remembered the little things. My favorite flowers, tulips, not roses. How I took my coffee, black with a hint of cinnamon. The way I hated crowds but loved people watching. We moved in together after 6 months, into a cozy 2-bedroom in Wicker Park. "This is our start," he said, carrying boxes up the stairs. "Forever starts here." But forever has a funny way of unraveling when you least expect it. The first crack appeared subtly. "Work stress," he said. "Late nights at the office, coding marathons for a big project." I understood. I had my own job now, as a copywriter for an ad agency. But the promises shifted. "I'll be home for dinner" became "Sorry babe, 1 more hour." Then, "We'll go out this weekend" turned into cancellations for emergency meetings. I brushed it off. Relationships aren't perfect, right? We all make promises we can't always keep. But then came the bigger ones. On our 1-year anniversary, he promised a surprise getaway. Packed a bag, excited. Instead, he came home exhausted, said the trip fell through because of work. We ordered takeout and watched Netflix. Next time, he promised. Next time never came. Instead, the silences grew. He'd scroll through his phone during meals, laugh at messages I couldn't see. "Just work stuff," he'd say when I asked. But I started noticing patterns. A woman's name popping up, Sarah, a colleague. "She's just a friend," he promised when I confronted him. "Nothing to worry about." Doubt crept in like fog over the lake. I tried to talk, but he'd deflect. "You're overthinking," he'd say. "I love you. Forever, remember." Those words, once a balm, now felt like band-aids over wounds that wouldn't heal. The breaking point came on a rainy Tuesday in spring. I'd been feeling off, tired, nauseous. Pregnancy test confirmed it. Positive. My heart raced. We hadn't planned this, but maybe it was a sign. I waited for him to come home, rehearsing how I'd tell him. "We're going to be parents," I'd say. "Our forever family." He came home late as usual. I showed him the test, tears in my eyes. His face went pale. What? Now? He stammered. I can't do this. No joy, no embrace. Just shock, then anger. We talked about waiting. How did this happen? It takes two, I reminded him, hurt. He paced the room, running hands through his hair. I need time to think, he said. And then the promise that shattered everything. I'll support you whatever you decide. We're in this together. But he wasn't. The next day he was distant. Days turned to weeks of arguments. He wanted options, abortion, adoption. I wanted to keep it. I'm not ready, he confessed one night. This isn't what I promised. What did you promise? He yelled. Forever. Us. He looked away. Forever doesn't mean this. That's when I knew. The promises were hollow, built on sand. I moved out a month later to a friend's couch, then a small apartment in Logan Square. The pregnancy ended in miscarriage. Stress, the doctor said. I grieved alone while he sent texts. I'm sorry. I still love you. Love. Another broken promise. It's been 2 years now. I've rebuilt. New job, new friends, therapy sessions that peel back layers of hurt. Alex. He moved on quickly from what I hear. Engaged to Sarah now. Promising her forever. Me. I promise myself truth. No more blind faith in words. Relationships are actions, not echoes. Emotional reflection. Looking back, the pain of those broken promises taught me resilience. I realize now that forever is a word too heavy for some to carry. It wasn't just about Alex. It was about me believing in fairy tales when life is messy. I've learned to trust my gut, to value my worth beyond someone's vows. The scars remain, but they've made me stronger, wiser. And in that, perhaps, is my own kind of forever. A promise to myself that I'll never settle for less than honesty.